Mostly my fiance, that's all that out. like
Does,
that.
does that, yeah.
Yeah,
So is it ADA or AEDA? How do people say
both.
both? Okay.
I say ADA.
Yeah.
A lot of people say.
It's a lot of
ADA.
syllables.
It's one syllable too many. Honestly,
Yeah,
you know,
anyways.
Can't change it now.
I know. Yeah,
You're stuck.
yeah, I know. There's not much you can do with that.
So
Feel
yeah,
the
there's
same way
like.
with my email now, I'm like, you should have made it shorter. Never knew that you're gonna need them. Yeah. It's actually
Are these people related to Tom?
Jim. I'm just gonna start recording. And then.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he recused himself.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Must,
Oscar.
gotta be.
Didn't get it. And Andrew's on here. Oh, I see this stuff. Andrew.
No, the applicant of your
I think
Cosgrove
it's-
is why I asked.
I think it's a do want to snap.
James Cosgrove.
So are we good?
It's happened to explain.
No,
Um,
it's like right next to the Y, 42 years. So
Good to go.
So we're good for pre-meeting?
Yes.
Okay,
Where's the lift on this chair?
so we have the one application tonight.
no, I don't think there is.
No.
You have a general summary
General summary.
for the board? Then
That's right.
we can discuss
Short
questions.
and succinct as best as possible. This is a proposal for 42 US Oval Ave, which is within the US Oval Historic District. It's for essentially in-kind replacement, like for life for, the vinyl windows and, porch repairs, the porch decking. Their existing is a synthetic slate roof that the applicant is proposing to switch to a natural slate roof using 3 different color tones. That are natural slate, from Vermont Slate. And essentially, this appears to be a fairly straightforward application. Unfortunately, we didn't have all of the detailed information at the time of submission to SHPO. And because the way SHPO system is set up, we can't submit additional updated information after the initial submission. We have to wait for them to review and provide their formal response via letter, and then we get the contact person that we can email you respond with. So SHPO responded last Friday with many questions and some concerns because the initial submission made it appear that it wasn't a like for like with the windows, and the appearance looked like the existing windows were wood frame. And then there was some substantial back and forth today regarding the roofing material. So I was able to provide SHPO a response to many of their questions on Friday, providing them an updated narrative that we had received from the applicant, which you have in your packets. We received that updated narrative on August 1st. Which details the number of windows being replaced, that they're existing vinyl clad windows and proposed to be vinyl clad replacements with the Pella replacement window, and there's a quote and spec sheet included from Pella. And then also the slate details, those were provided to SHPO as well on Friday, and then additional pictures which have been submitted by the applicant on the 1st, showing the different facades of the home, as well as the detailed pictures of the roof and the porch and the windows. So once the reviewing agent received those, thankfully, she reviewed them pretty quickly, this morning and got back to me. And communicated that she didn't have issues, there's no issues with the porch deck replacement. That was clear that it was gonna be like for like. She's okay with vinyl clad replacement and the spec sheet that was provided. The preference of Chippo always is, if possible, go with a more historic material. It would be, the request, if possible, was for a metal pad with wood frame windows. However, she understands that the existing is vinyl clad, that there's external wooden storms and the sills are wooden. So Shippo would essentially be okay with the proposal of the pellet spec sheet with a 6/6 design pattern. And then for the roofing, the applicant in their narrative and in the Vermont Slate spec sheet proposed a 3 color pattern, varying pattern for the natural slate tile, providing additional color to the roof than essentially what is existing. So the comments I received back in conversation I had over the phone, and then as a follow-up, late in the day from Chippo, was that their preference is that it is a singular color, natural slate color used, and the preference is the unfaded gray. And it is okay with them if there is a variation within that color tone. But an examination of surrounding buildings and the historic style was that of a uniform color type. So that was their recommendation. Request. But we have not yet received the updated formal response back.
Did they just purchase this home?
That I do not know.
It looks like
There's a-
21.
Zoning records are right there.
Isn't this the property that was owned by the city?
Yeah, it looks like the prior one was
Already
in
know.
Plattsburgh.
This was owned by the
It was
city.
vacant for a while.
Yeah, it was leased out maybe to chiropractor. Yeah.
Where's the county record info? We'll have the date on there usually.
So. In the picture, these windows have an exterior storm.
Yes,
Is that detailed in the proposal, what happens with that?
it has not been detailed what happens with the exterior storms.
It's a year thing.
If there's a
They
big
finance
piece
it
of
and then
pop off.
we just file that. We'll file it.
10,000 seems
Smaller,
low
it
for
just starts
14
leaking
windows.
insert.
I don't know why. I would just assume that they would be more expensive with the
Yeah.
size and the,
For the windows,
yeah.
10,000 for the
I don't-
windows.
If they were wood, they would be.
I mean,
Sales seem-
vinyl color vinyl windows could be, they're like less than 500 a window probably.
With the install and everything. it
Yeah.
just doesn't.
Yeah,
Um,
they can be pretty. Yeah. They know a guy. Really looks the exact same as this photo still. 78, look at that. Same lattice.
You guys done other ones where they requested like to change the color? When they've done roof placements?
oh,
Mhm.
Or is it always the same unfading gray?
it's usually not gray, but once again, the color isn't usually come up as a big.
Well,
Topic.
because it's, you often don't have record of it either, right? Unless,
I can't recall the last shingle replacement that we've had on the old.
A few months ago.
on the oval?
Yeah, we had that whole HOA.
Yeah.
That was slate roofing. And
Oh,
it was tile by tile.
okay.
You're talking, are you talking about the,
Yeah, so what
Union?
color is their slate? When they built the
HOA.
slate period?
The union did that, that's true.
The
union-
HOA,
Yeah, the HOA, I don't remember that one.
the condos, the condos, that whole condo association, there's late.
It was like the whole half of the oval. We
But
approved
In
it.
between sides
It's
and
townhomes that are connected.
Braces. All this, the side by sides. The 3 story sides.
Maybe you were recused from that entire meeting?
I don't remember that one.
Was that the one that you had to lead, Abby?
That was the one, might have been the one I chaired.
Okay, I was just gonna say, that's the reason I don't remember.
I don't, maybe that was.
What color was to your point, the last one I do remember was, I think, the plumbing. Union, right behind the brewery.
Yeah, they had a,
Replaced their roof and that was slate and I think they would replace it with slate. But I don't remember color becoming,
It's because like they're asking for this to be.
Yeah.
To stay.
Why the color came into question this time was because they were proposing 3 different variations and alternating.
did they have a reason for that?
I think it was just personal preference.
Yeah.
On the cover of the Vermont slate detail, which we don't have a large version, I have included in the PowerPoint I can bring up. It does show.
Kind of. Do they say what kind of roof was on it? Oh yeah, on the slate. Roof, or to see if it's variegated or not.
I don't actually. So this,
Mhm.
this cover sheet of the Vermont slate, the Evergreen Slate Company. This photo has basically the same colors that they're proposing.
Yeah.
Alternating across the roof.
Can you go back a slide?
I think there's
Or
precedent in
two?
the
I think there
oval
was, they had these
Yeah.
pictures.
with historic
So,
slate there.
In response to the questions that came in from SHPO today, I went out to the oval and took pictures of the adjacent buildings.
Thank you for doing that on such a lovely day.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
You should.
Good for a drive.
Are those all like monocolor? At all those roofs?
Yeah.
Are they still
so,
slate?
All around the oval is a pretty uniform color.
Are those slate
Um,
or have they been replaced?
they're either, it was hard to tell the difference whether, some, because, 42 US Oval, the project at hand is synthetic, but it's hard to tell what the rest of them are composed of. They're either slate or synthetic.
Okay, I'm looking at those townhomes that they look homogeneous.
Yeah,
They don't look variegated.
I'm just like, I live on the oval and I don't even know what my roof is like. I like-
I've driven around it so many times. I had to purposely go out today to take. pictures.
Yeah. I should have just asked me. I should have.
It's nice to see that.
Yeah, you're like, no, I want to.
And this sheet doesn't say anything about. The roof.
No, I didn't see anything on them.
Those are all just gray.
The nomination form didn't offer much information, not any information along these lines either.
You know what we approved for the HOA, for the roof job? Is that something you can find?
We didn't dive into the color,
Oh, we didn't.
no.
But they have photos, because they're just doing single replacements.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'd be able to see what, but I'm looking now, it looks like just gray. That's all the HOA houses.
But like, when you really look, like, are there different colors in there? Because,
Right, it's the gray variegated, but
yeah, because he's asking for three. If not, he'll be saying, well, I can do just the two, which are probably more uniform. I was thinking that third color might be the thing that gives it the pop that they're looking for. We don't have this colors in here,
it's
Black and white.
and colored.
so. You. Do you have this in color up there?
Uh,
So you can see what the, oh yeah, there it
It's
is.
the right,
Can we,
Assuming it's the one for the top,
Oh, yeah.
the gray,
well, there's three of them that he's asking to do, right?
but Chip was asking for the unfading gray.
Right. And then they have an unfading,
unfaded gray is basically where the last one is.
Yeah.
Great.
right,
And they're asking for one
Just a
uniform color,
Yes,
that's it.
yeah, but they're okay if there's variation across that color.
Here are the colors.
the property owner's asking for, like, just to, so we can see how it varies. But they're not asking for the unfading red.
Why
I-
don't you leave them full floor, we have slant
They are,
windows.
and that's,
Here are the actual colors, yeah.
okay, and then what are, I've read this, I read here is three that the applicant wanted. to
Yeah.
I think
do.
across those, yeah.
Well, and they're gonna take out the windows too, the skylight.
The skylight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Historic.
I don't know too many people that keep phones.
There's not many other skylights.
I read it, I read the three that he wanted.
I have them in my
We'd
apartment,
like to do a
But they're
three-color
like
combination using.
Not-
green,
not skylight,
Open up.
green,
I
and
can,
gray
allow them,
clouds,
but it's
including
because,
unfading
but like
gray.
my wall
The
is like.
unfading gray is
Thought I saw.
So like
two
the wall is
unfading,
slanted,
so
so
the
the
other one-
skylight
Yeah.
white windows.
Unfading gray, unfading green,
weird.
and variegated purple.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's,
Oh, right here,
so that's the second to last one,
that's this one.
and it has green in it.
Yeah, and green and purple in it.
Are you, can you pull just that one photo up larger or no?
I mean,
I didn't hyperlink it, so it'll take me a second.
Just because like if he was asking for the unfading red, right, then that's really not gonna,
You can just zoom on
Look,
the right
other
there,
roofs.
Alicia.
Okay.
I mean, Alicia, do we have that?
Oh, there.
there it is.
I mean, I think unless that they can show photos of precedent of historic roots in the oval of slate with the other colors, it's probably more appropriate to go with the gray tones. Like
Yeah.
variegated, sure, 'cause it shows weathering and age, it looks a little more natural than like a solid tone,
Yeah,
which would go with the other roofs, right? But I don't see precedent to. I didn't do a drive-by today, just looking at Google Street View. I don't see precedent with the greens and the purples in the slate roofs. As much as I like it.
Do we, you have that like in writing from Chippewa?
I've got it via email,
That's their recommendation in regards to the roof.
yes.
To the applicants know that was.
Not yet.
Then he said,
This is
if I can't do the
information as
purple, I
of
can still like
So then
do the
maybe
green
like
and the gray. And from here, the green
today.
kind of looks like the gray.
And I'm thinking that that might be more cost effective, honestly, for them not to have, because I would assume the labor of putting in roofs. With different colored shingles is certainly more strategic how it's placed versus one color.
and they might have just looked at the picture and been like, yeah, it looks great. Sure, do it.
See that? Unfading green.
Um,
I can't see it.
It's like, it's a slate green, it's like the color of this case section. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause
Any other questions
it's like these two, when you text them, it's like,
or information?
it kind of looks same, but then.
No?
I guess I have a question, so for the windows. What did you guys call it, the outside part?
It's the storm.
The storm part, so like, is the intention that they'd keep that and then just replace the window underneath it?
Yes. I'm trying to get to. Storm clears. So that picture shows it pretty well. The storms can pop off. I don't know what the components look like interior to this, but I would expect there's a method to take the vinyl pad out, because at one point they were existing. The original windows were removed and replaced with vinyl. So potentially, if they can't replace them from the outside, they might be able to replace them from the inside.
Yeah.
But I would expect that there is an existing method.
The only thing I saw with the vinyls, they wanted to replace with like kind, and so I looked at the window spec. And I didn't see it say anything about the 6/6 of the vinyl, the grids in the windows. So that would be the only thing that I saw about it. It looks like they're just blank
I would
windows.
agree. Yep.
And Schipul mentioned 6/6, right? So if everyone would be okay with the vinyl replacement, then Schipul's request of having the whether they're grid in or not, I guess would be, I don't really care. As a homeowner, I like the grid inside the paint, it's easier to paint, but I think you can still buy grids that are on the inside of the window. Is that a concern for anybody? Because basically, say you got like an application, and so you bought them, so you stick them there, and then the inspector comes, says, okay, this looks good, checks off on it, then they can just take the grids down, so. Then they wouldn't be there, so I don't know.
Yeah,
To
they
me-
do say intention of six panels to match,
Yeah, I looked at
but yeah, their spec doesn't have it yet.
I didn't see
Missing
it,
on their spec. Yeah.
so maybe that's just part of the approval, is that the windows have them
Specify a grid.
grid in window, yeah.
Mhm. I think that's fair. Yeah, if it changes hands, then someone else will get it easily.
I think it's a fair question, since it's sort of new about the storm windows, to at least ask what the intention is. Then you can make that part of the application.
If I use these kind of things, like, we're just gonna replace it in kind, but it's like, but there's so many details that can be very, very in the process that you wanna know that, like. Will it still come out the same, even though it's the same window? It's like, is the detailing the same? Is the trim the same? Is the storm the same? Is it the same depth in the wall?
Well, if there's no other questions in regards to the application, is there any potential new business or old business to discuss?
I've got a few updates, that we're going to fit in. One is just, personal and exciting that, we have a new hire, in the community development office for the community engagement. Her name is Stewart, and she started approximately a week ago. So I'm right now, well, and excited to have her. And we've been conducting interviews for the recreation coordinator position. So that's moving on. The department will have a hire soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks and all as well. And then, budget season is afoot, so I will be working with my superintendent, the development director, to construct a proposed budget for all planning functions and then community development. It will, it appears that it's gonna be a little bit of a busy winter season for me potentially. Courtney will be going out on maternity leave. And I will be softly kind of oversee community development. As it appears at this point in time, everything's still, details really need to be ironed out as we move forward. But that's also an exciting front. And then, we have a zoning pack meeting tomorrow night. So that's the full, public advisory committee, meeting. And we're hoping that we'll have a full member, attendance at that, because we're nearing the finalization for our proposals and hoping to move those forward. In the October, November timeframe to council and seeker. From our last planning board meeting, we have a Dollar General sketch plan review. We have heard back from them and they expect that and I expect that they're working on it. They're expecting that they're needing a full sweat. So that's why we haven't heard back from them yet.
Oh, what?
That's when we're a stormwater prevention. Just a heads up there, they were asking, what the cutoff deadline for the September meeting would be for submissions for that. And I requested that they get me their updated information by the end of this week, if possible. And I haven't heard back one way or another, so it's hard to know if they're gonna be ready before the September meeting yet. And then, we did receive a new application last Friday, which is, appears to be a member subdivision. At Main Mill, excuse me, and Wall Street, the corner of Main Mill and Wall Street. So that proposal has actually already gone through the ZBA for a variance request for, really for the lot sizes and was granted. So, but more will come on that as I have time to prepare the staff report. And I'm going to do is out to you, but that's the expected agenda for next month. Any questions for me? For the rest of the staff?
Since we have a couple minutes, was there any further identification of what happens with the driveway on that Dollar General site?
Not at this point, they have not completed one way or another. And we haven't heard back from anybody. I did reach out to DOT, they will require a permit, and the applicants are aware of that for DOT. But I have not received any.
Okay, so they will require.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions the board has? Yes. Another minute or so until the board meeting.
We're just making sure the share screen works. Because it has been in the past.
Okay.
Trustee
Is
technician.
there somebody on?
Oh, yeah.
Who participant? I said her there.
Okay, there we
Let's
go.
check and
Okay.
see. if-
We're set. Thank you for that.
And do we have one participant as well? Is that,
That would be us,
okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
but thank you. We'll have to keep our eye on that. We have the public hearing.
okay. Well, it is 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order for the planning board meeting, August 26, 2024. If we can all rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I please get roll call?
Jim Abdullah,
Yes.
Andrew Castine.
Yes.
Abby Musser,
Yes.
Sarah Stansberry.
Yes.
Carly Leary.
Yes.
Thank you. It's noting that Rick Perry and Tom Cosgrove are excused for this meeting. We do have one application tonight, planning board application 24-09.
And I can prepare a presentation for that. For, we've got the unfading gray, the, very, variated purple and the unfaded green as well. So, and the picture to the left, the detailed picture is the proposed pattern. I believe that the applicant we're seeking, the red and substituting the other the purple. And when the applicant have a chance to speak later, they can provide additional details, and there are additional details, further on in the presentation as provided from Shepherd responses. This is a comparison of adjacent roofing materials and colors. pictures that I went out and took today, provide a response to the SHPO review. Which questioned what the existing roof styles and colors appear to be, adjacent and surrounding the US. Here's, the existing photos of some of the windows associated with the building and the window sills. So you'll see exterior, there are original wooden storm windows that can be popped off and removed. But you'll see also that there's some deterioration at the bottom part of those sills associated with them. Interior are the vinyl clad windows that also are showing deterioration and need for replacement. Here are existing photos of the porch decking that is proposed to be replaced with in-kind materials and matching colors. The historical significance of the properties that it was constructed circa 1910. It was the Post Sergeant Major's quarters, which was a fairly significant building of the time. An infantry regiment was the most prestigious position held by any enlisted man, as evidenced by this single family dwelling. It's what the nomination form states. It is there is time clock. material and adjacent roofing materials and those roofing patterns and details. As well as the questions related to those window dimensions and number of sills to be replaced. So, the window dimensions and number of sills and window cut sheets and roof cut sheets, all of that was able to be provided to SHPO on Friday based on information provided by the applicant on August 1st. I received a response back from the reviewer late this afternoon, mid-morning, mid to early afternoon, and then again late afternoon. So I have had an ongoing correspondence with this person today. I have not received a formal response back yet, but in general, the response was that they were comfortable with the windows being a like for like replacement, the vinyl clad with a 6/6 design. They do prefer, and they always state this typically is if there is any way that the applicant could use a more historic material, that would be the preference. So a metal clad wood window would be their preference, but they understand that there is existing vinyl there now, and this would be a like for like. So they can't require it. As far as the roofing material, their preference would be that it would be a uniform color that would be in keeping with the rest of the existing roofs in the adjacent district. And that you use unfaded gray, that there could be variation within that color, but they prefer a single color and the basic pattern to match the adjacent buildings. And then they are okay with a like for like replacement of the porch decking. And matching the color of the porch decking to what is existing there. And they're okay with the replacement of the sills with like for like materials and matching the same color. Sorry for so much information on this slide, but I think I've covered it all, and we can always come back to it if there's additional questions down the line. Evaluation precedent, the application 24-0 that's supposed to be 42 US Oval. Is a similar application for an in-kind replacement of the slate roofs, chimney. I apologize, I did not edit this part. It's slate roofs, windows, and porch decking, so I will revise that part. Sorry, I just got caught off guard. This is an evaluation past precedent of different applications that are similar to this project that the board has previously reviewed. So application 24-04 for 130 US Oval was a similar application for in-kind replacement of the slate roofs, chimneys, roof facade, and wood and aluminum trim, and was approved by the planning board in 2024. So we were previously talking about this project's application to the existing project. And during the review of 130 US Oval Ave project, there was not consideration of the slate colors. However, in that project, it wasn't a full roof replacement. It was just roof repairs to chipped or missing slates here and there. So it wasn't a broad replacement. Replacing with matching colors as possible. Application 22-12.
Will be a uniform, not beating gray. You can see the buildings around this. The Slater is, who has the contract for the oval, Bill from Heritage Slate. So he's said most of you know him, because he does work at the oval for all the officers' houses. I don't know when he's gonna start. He's in that hunting season, so. It's variable. Yeah, I think that's it. The windows are falling apart. You saw in the pictures, they're being held up with rods. We've had to use tape because there's a big gap in the windows and insects can get in, snow gets in. So it's, they're in very poor condition.
So for the slate roof, you plan on using the unfading gray,
Yeah.
similar to what's recommended by the State Historic Preservation Office.
Yes,
Okay, on the windows, I guess the main question is going with the 6x6 grid. Internal style grill, that's acceptable, or that's what's planned?
Hmm.
Well, I was gonna say that the cut sheets or the quote that was provided doesn't indicate a grill, so that's why the question
okay, well.
came up from the board.
I don't know why that is, but those are the ones we have requested and told them that that's what we have to have by the standards.
Maybe a good thing to clarify for your quote though.
Yeah.
Also, I noted, do you have screens today?
Screens in the windows, no.
Okay, but you plan on screens with the new windows?
The new windows come with screens, yes.
Okay, which I think. I mean, if the board has questions, ask the questions, but we should at least recognize it within the application. Seeing it says like for like in some areas, but then there's. Little things
Right,
like
like
screens.
screens, yeah, sure.
Existing storm windows. Do you plan on doing anything with those?
They definitely have to be removed to put the windows in. Most of them are rotted beyond use. So we'll be ginger taking them out because the glass wants to fall out anyways. The new windows will be double painted. But I think I would still probably put up storm windows because the wind off the lake is pretty strong. I don't have anything to judge it by right now. The windows are so poor when the wind blows, it comes right in. So, but the addition of storm windows would probably just insulate it that much better.
So. I guess for your application, if we just clarified that storm windows are in place, you're gonna. Keep them or repair them as necessary.
Exactly. Yeah, any that you use will use, that won't, if the glass is still good, and I can rebuild the frames, I'll do that.
Okay.
I would keep them up. I live on the oval and I have double pane windows and the wind is still coming in. So
Yeah.
I would keep them. The winters are rough.
Yes,
And then I noted, you're also looking at like sort of intermittent decking repair.
yes,
I noticed, I also saw in the pictures that like some of the decking, especially in the corners, it's like it went with like. Original was 2x6 or something different, and they tried to repair some deck with like 2x8, so everything became one.
on ours,
Well, that's, yeah, in one of the pictures that's submitted. See it. Everything sort of goes staggered, it starts,
well, it's actually the same dimension.
they cut them at different,
The cuts are not, perfect.
Yep.
That's for sure. Actually, I did this one.
okay,
And all these have been replaced. This corner has been rebuilt. And if you were there today, sanded.
It's all 3x3.
Yeah, it's actually the original. By creation.
Okay,
Also,
it's,
it took a while to find it, but it was a local timber lumber mill that had it. So it looks just like the original. So if you go and look at it today, you'll see it.
Yeah, I didn't walk all the way up to the porch, I was just taking pictures.
So basically, you're comparing the porch to its original, or you're,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. But we found one that's very similar, and you really have to notice the difference.
Not to mention, the old ones already have some.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. They've been replaced over the years, and you notice around the oval that a lot of folks are using just squares and not doing spindles. So ours are definitely more like to like.
Okay. Any other comments, questions from the board?
No, what is I know the picture of the roof now, what is that condition called when it's the metal right over the eave at the,
Snow guard.
that snow guard?
Yes.
Is that staying and then the slate's going above it? Yeah.
Yes.
I can't tell from the original photos if it had one or not. Regardless, it serves a function right now in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably original.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of replacement is $18,000.
To replace one of those copper snow guards? Wow. They look sharp. I mean, you can tell that it's quality. Okay, so that will stay.
That's way.
She didn't care about the sun, the roof, the window, the sun. The window he's pulling out, so I don't remember if she said anything.
I don't know. What's the question?
Did Shippo comment on the skylight coming out? Cause they want the skylight out? Is that more in?
They were questioning whether the skylight is historic or not. But I didn't. It was my impression that it was one and they didn't.
Not a question.
There aren't that many, some other buildings around the US Oval have skylights, but it's not a predominant feature.
It's an odd feature in that the attic is not a usable space. Accessing is extremely dangerous. And you can see the chimney covers the.
Yeah.
You were to climb up there, you couldn't see anything but brick. So it's a useless feature.
And the skylight is eastern facing, so, if anybody were able to see it, it would be from the condominium building, just behind it, Grand Isle View condos, and potentially Terry would end up. But, it's not, predominant visually, around the rest of the.
Okay, if the board doesn't have any other questions, and we do have a public hearing associated with this project, which I'll open the public hearing now, see if anybody has comments. Anybody online?
Yep.
Okay, with that said, no comments, we'll move to close the public hearing. We do have a seeker short form submitted as part of the application. That can assist us through part 2.
I apologize, it was proposed that this is a type 2 seeker action.
Is it?
Which, yes, because, like for like, repair of an existing structure falls within the seeker list.
Okay.
And that's, similar to previous reviews completed for historic site reviews.
There's a resolution included.
Yeah, so should we, well. It does say that. Determine that the project is a type 2 action at the end. So even though it says, I guess, the part 1 allowed you to determine, or staff to determine and recommend that it's a type 2 action.
Correct.
Yep.
Right, so, I mean, theoretically, the board should be going through the short term EAF and confirming that they agree. So I apologize, this is a little bit more drawn out. For to actually be a little too thorough.
That's fine. If anybody on the board have any questions about that? If not, do I have a motion for to accept the seeker classification resolution 24-09A as a type 2 action? No further. Review needed.
So moved.
No second.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Roll call.
Jim Abdallah,
Yes.
Andrew Castine.
Yes.
Abby Musser.
Yes.
Sarah Stansberry.
Yes.
Carly Leary.
Yes.
Okay, and then we do have a proposed historic site improvement resolution 24-09B. Within that general language, I'd also like to maybe get the board's concurrence on some of the discussion here, also to help staff with notes. I had that the proposal is for an unfading gray slate shingle. We're looking at windows with a 6x6 internal grille to match existing. Screens are proposed with the window, which I believe the board doesn't have any concerns about. Even though those aren't in the application or in the current windows today. That is what they're proposing for the new. Storm windows will be either utilized as is or repaired as necessary. And decking is to match existing. Oh, and then we also recognize that the skylight removal is a pure removal, be removed. Board have anything to add to that? Staff good with that list?
I am still taking backup notes. I would ask Laura. Do you have any questions or missing anything? No, I think that encompasses everything. One thing that the board may want to add, but it's up to the board's discretion, is the formal final response from SHPO.
Okay,
But it's up to your preference.
as a condition prior to a building permit. Okay, and I don't know, does the board have any question about that? If not, typically we do have a formal response
Yeah.
from SHPO to go with the application, so I think that's a reasonable condition.
Do we want to clarify that vinyl is acceptable? SHPO had said it's their preference for metal clad wood.
That's probably appropriate that the board recognizes we accept the.
Yes.
Vinyl.
The board recognizes that vinyl is not SHPO's preference, but is an acceptable alternate. And concurs. Okay.
Well, with that said, I think you've got a good clarification of discussion for the resolution. With those notes added to the resolution, then you have a motion for moving
I can make a motion.
24-09B.
I make a motion to accept historic site improvement resolution 24-9B with the comments noted by Jim.
A second.
I'll second.
So we had Abby and Sarah.
Roll call.
Jim Abdallah,
Yes.
Andrew Castine.
Yes.
Abby Musser,
Yes.
Sarah Stansberry.
Yes.
Carly Leary.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
We will follow up, once we compile the conditions and finalize the resolution. More formal, response to you. So that you'll have all the information you need to move forward.
Okay. And we have to get that before we can.
Yes, yes. We'll try to get everything formulated. And
Okay.
if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to her.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice night.
Thank you for caring for our historic buildings.
I love that.
So does staff have any additional items to discuss?
Not beyond what was covered in the pre-meeting, but I'm happy to go back over those items. For the.
I think we're good. Does the board have any additional questions or comments for that?
Nope.
Go motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye. Thank you.